Aloha everyone. So today marks 2 months and 1 day after the Lahaina fires, and it's the first day after we reopened Maui's west side to travelers. In one of my recent videos, I shared my thoughts on the reopening, and one of my comments was that it is important that travelers know that they will need to drive through the Lahaina Disaster Area if they are staying in the areas between Kaanapali and Kapalua. So I thought it might be helpful to show you exactly what that drive looks like right now. I'm actually headed into Lahaina today to grab some things from my house, so I figured I would just set up the camera to record the drive through town. No fancy camera work, I'm just going to mount the camera straight ahead and drive. I'll also do my best to point out a few landmarks along the way. Now, if you know anyone who is considering a vacation on Maui, please share this video with them so they know what to expect. For some people, it will be shocking. For others, the reality might not be as bad as the expectations. But as always, my goal is to simply share the raw facts without any fluff. Let's go take a look. To give you a point of reference, I'm going to start the recording in Laniapoko. This is the corner of Kaiheliku and the Lahaina bypass. We're now heading north on the Lahaina bypass. You can see Lahaina town way off in the distance on the left. So the reason I started here was this is the first area we're going to find evidence of the fire. Pretty much everything to the south of this area was not impacted by the fire at all. Notice the burned natural landscape on both sides of the road starting here. So it's really important for travelers to understand that it's not appropriate to stop on the side of the road anywhere in this area to take pictures. A little bit further down the road, we'll start to see some law enforcement vehicles and the National Guard posted up in certain areas along the bypass just to make sure nobody is parking on the side of the road. I know it's hard to see in this video, but to the far left of the screen, you're going to see the beginning of Lahaina town. We're now coming up on the intersection of Hokiokio Place. Coming up on the left, you'll see the first police car on the side of the road. This starts a stretch of about a minute where there's not a whole lot to see from the road. Now, just because you can't see it from here doesn't mean that the area isn't burned. Pretty much everything to the ocean side of the bypass from here did receive damage from the fire. We're going to jump forward about 30 seconds here. Now, coming up on the right side of the road at this point, you'll see the memorial that's been set up for those that lost their life in the fire. It's difficult to see from the road, but there's dozens of white crosses. Each one represents a life lost in the fire. The current death toll stands at 98. To give you another point of reference, we're about to drive underneath Lahaina Luna Road. We're going to jump forward another 20 seconds here. Now we're approaching the part of the bypass that actually drops down into Lahaina town. Coming up on the right, you'll see where they staged the temporary cell phone towers, which helped to reconnect communication on Maui's west side after it went down during the Lahaina fires. This is the clearest and highest point of perspective of Lahaina from the road. On the right, you'll see a construction site that was still under construction at the time of the fire. Coming up on the left is the entrance into the Emerald Plaza industrial area. Now, the industrial area has been reopened for business. There were some properties that were damaged from the fire, but there was a lot that were not. So the gas station and the grocery store in this area have reopened. Coming up on the right is Foodland Farms in the Gateway Center, and on the left you see the Ho'onanea condo complex. We're going to be coming up here on a right-hand turn that sends us in the direction of Kaanapali. But if you were to drive straight ahead at this intersection, you would be entering the Cannery Mall Shopping Center, which has Safeway, another grocery store that is open in Lahaina. I would like to point out that there has been quite a bit of progress that has been made with the recovery already. Just a few weeks ago, there was no power in this area. The stoplights were not working, the grocery stores were not open, and the gas stations were not open. So there has been some progress in that regard. And of course, you'll notice the dust fences that have been set up on both sides of the road moving forward from here. Now, on the left side of the screen would be the Front Street side of Lahaina town, and coming up on the right is the beginning of the Waiakuli neighborhood. Coming up on the left is the intersection where Front Street meets the highway, and off in the distance on the left you'll see the hotels in Kaanapali, which are situated right on Kaanapali Beach. Coming up on the right, you'll see the Lahaina Post Office. And that's pretty much it as far as the extent of the fire damage. Everything to the north of here was not really impacted by the fire as much as Lahaina town was. So we'll continue on driving towards Kaanapali just to give you an idea of what it looks like in the Kaanapali neighborhood. And eventually here I'll actually pull onto the Kaanapali Parkway and drive down the Kaanapali Parkway towards Whalers Village, just so you can see what the opened resort areas look like as of right now. On the right here you see the Kaanapali Golf Course. You'll also see it coming up here on the left. Coming up here to the left-hand turn onto Kaanapali Parkway. As you can see, Kaanapali is as lush and green as ever. It really is an inviting place once you get past the burn zone in Lahaina town. There has been some debate whether 2 months is too soon after the fire to reopen to tourism on the west side. That being said, there's certainly a lot of people on the west side that are ready for the reopening and looking forward to going back to work. So this is where I'm going to end the driving tour of Maui's west side after the fire. I hope the video was helpful. If you know anybody that's considering traveling to the west side of Maui, you might want to share this video with them, just to give them an idea of what to expect. And if you're interested in continued updates on the recovery from the Lahaina fire, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll do my best to keep everybody up to speed with what's happening here on Maui's west side. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Aloha.